Hey, it's Nate. We're on the property tour here in Milwaukee. We're actually down in Racine right now. And check this out. We are like literally, if you can see this, just a couple blocks, well, less than a block from Lake Michigan. And so it's pretty stoked, pretty cool. Let's go inside and go check out what is happening on the property tour. So there was one question on leverage that I want to hit. So those of you that are planning like leverage, like I totally believe in leverage, and I'll share why. I started doing rentals like 10 years ago, and then basically started buying one house at a time. Actually, one of the first ones that my wife and I did was 1180 Minnehaha Avenue in St. Paul. And I remember it because we bought it. We had very little of our own cash in the deal after we did bank financing on it. And then we just kind of set it and forget about it. Like, didn't think about it for multiple years. And then we did a big redevelopment project down in Chicago, and we were co-signers and partners on the redevelopment project, and the other main partner on it like left. And in the middle of that thing, like the total loan on this big redevelopment stuff was around $3.5 million. And that whole project started going south, cost us a ton of money, like literally didn't have any money coming in from it whatsoever. And I remember when Jennifer and I, like, we literally downsized from a 3-bedroom house to a 1-bedroom apartment, like finances were very tight. And the only thing that saved us was we sold rental properties. Like, we went back to her property, we sold it, and we made money. And I thought, like, okay, we're gonna sell it, we might make like 10 grand and put it in our pocket. But when we sold it, it was more like 35,000. And like I went back and I looked at the numbers on it, and the thing is that the tenant every single month, they were paying, like, you know, the tenant, you collect the rent, then you pay the mortgage. So the tenant payment coming in, part of it goes when you pay the bank, part goes to principal, part goes to interest. And what was really cool is that over time, you get this compounding effect when you're paying principal, meaning your first mortgage payment, it's almost all interest. By your 7th year in a mortgage, you're starting to pay pretty significant interest. By your 15th year, you're paying more interest than, or more principal than interest. Well, for us, like that house, I'm going to say this and I don't want to like sound corny, but it kind of saved us. It saved our lives in some respect because we actually had money coming in. We were able to then extend payments on the big redevelopment project, keep it going. And then all of a sudden there were contractors that wanted to get paid on the redevelopment project. So we went back to another rental, sold the rental, took the cash, and then put it in and covered that. And then there was another one. We had to do this 6 times, literally take every bit of equity that we had in rental properties to get through and at least get the redevelopment projects done and on the market. So I wish I could say like it totally saved the redevelopment projects. It didn't. Like they still kicked our butt and they kicked some of our investors' butts on them. But the rentals like saved them overall. And to this day, like I keep looking back saying, wow, thank God for those rentals. And I started really analyzing this and thinking, okay, what brought like actual money to our family and to our business? It wasn't these giant redevelopment projects. I mentioned earlier to a couple people that I did some car washes, did an apartment building. Like I've analyzed all of that stuff. None of that really brought good money. It's actually these rental houses. They might seem boring on paper, like, hey, I'm going to make a couple $100s after I pay a mortgage payment, but you're not just making a couple hundred, you're actually making a secret savings account every single month that your tenant is contributing to. And then the day that you might need it, like the day that Jennifer and I did, like it's there. You can sell the property or you can refinance it. You can tap into that equity. So like these little rental houses, I feel that they saved our family, and like I feel compelled to like preach about them. They're single family rentals. They're little, simple, kind of boring things, but they are awesome.
Hello.
Welcome to HomeInvest.com. This is the uncle. Martha, did you learn anything today?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Can you tell us what you learned today?
Oh, I've learned a lot. Everything from hard money lending to leveraging, to all the support that you provide. Just looking at the houses and seeing the quality of the work in rehab versus the pre-rehab. So I'm sure my learning's not going to be over with.
Nice. So was Andrea wrong?
No, she was not. She was absolutely right.
Cool. What did you think of the property tour today?
I think it was great. I love getting eyes on the ground and seeing what these guys are doing, and I've been super impressed so far. So,
did you learn anything today? What's the biggest takeaway?
The biggest takeaway, that's a good question. Not all markets are different, would probably be the best. You know, basing my experience on Colorado, which is a pretty crazy market, especially right now. So a lot of the concerns and a lot of the issues to look out for, you know, you always have the standard ones, but there's the ones that are unique to our market. So just hearing what they see in their market, what's different, what's similar, it's been a good learning experience, and also just excited about how much lower properties are here for acquisition.
And how were the famous Wisconsin cheese curds?
You know, it's worth coming back for. I'll be back.
Awesome, thank you.
I found too, now that when you have that rehab cost, that escrow money on the HUD statement, it makes it a lot easier for me to justify prices to appraisers too, because they can see that and like, well, why'd you pay so much? Well, we rehab it. You know, this isn't just the house price, this is everything. And the appraisers can see that, and then you can give them the scope of work broken out. It makes it a lot easier to really put a case to justify the price.
Excellent point. Thanks for
You've
sharing.
got 4 now, and the second one didn't appraise well, right?
The second one, no. That neighborhood still has quite a few foreclosures holding down the comps.
Mm-hmm.
So I did get another appraisal about a month ago, working on refinancing again, but it came up significantly.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay. About how much in the last year?
Almost 15,000.
Okay, wow.